Welcome back to the channel. I'm J-Rod, and today we're talking about what the motorcycle game is missing, okay? Riding motorcycles used to be a young thing, as far as I remember, and I haven't always rode motorcycles, but I definitely remember seeing younger guys on bikes. Where did all the young folks go? This used to be a young folks game. Nowadays, majority of the riders all are on cruisers and red wings and Harleys. Yeah, those are motorcycles, but it ain't the bike we looking for. You know what I'm saying? So stick around and we're gonna find out why and what we can do about it. Today in 2025, the average motorcycle owner is 50 years old. Not saying 50 is old as hell, but that is old as hell for that to be the average, okay? That is ridiculous. We need 24-year-olds, we need 19-year-olds, we need 20-year-olds, 18-year-olds. We need guys on the road and girls. We definitely need more women riders, but that is a topic for another video, okay? In 1990, the average was just 32 years old. What happened? How did that number go up 18 years? That's because the same guys riding in 1990 are the same guys riding today. And we need to get new riders in. This is the same thing happening in the work industries everywhere. You got more guys retiring and more guys getting hired. We need to get more guys hired in the bike arena, okay? And just from experience, I don't see many guys under 30 on the road, okay? Everybody I hang out with, we probably got a couple guys that I ride with that's under 30, but majority of the guys I see, 30 and up, whole families, careers, well established, right? Why is that? Are we the last generation right now that cares about two wheels? Like I said earlier, only 8% of riders today are under 30. That is a very low number. If we lined up 100 people right here on the lake, only 8 of them will be 30 and down, 8 of them. I'm 30 years old, so I'm right at that. I'm a couple months away from being on that old side, okay? Gen Z makes up less than 5%. So out of them 100, 5 of them will be Gen Z or less. That's not okay, bro. And it's our fault because we supposed to be the ones to encourage them, you know. So what's the issue here? Boomers dominate most motorcycle purchases, okay? Boomers, that is a while ago. What's boomers, like the 60s maybe 70s, I don't know. But that's a while ago, I know that. If it's before the 80s, it's a long time ago. Even the 80s is a while ago. But one of the problems are that bikes nowadays, on average, 6 to 7 grand, on average, okay? That ain't talking about the 30 grand bikes that they really think look good. We're talking about these bikes, the 650s. I paid, what, almost 6 grand for this? 5.5, okay? That is a lot of money to an 18-year-old, okay? You gotta be grinding to go get one of these, bro. The bike costs his shot through the fucking roof, but you also got jobs not paying as much. It's not as many careers for young people out here, all right? Young kids also have student debt, they got rent, they got gas, they got insurance, they got bills. You know, if they live alone, if you're fortunate enough to even live alone, but they also got a low-paying job, which is making it hard. This is like recreational. This is not priority. But we've had a cultural shift in priorities these days. And not to mention insurance, like I said, they pay 2 to 3 times higher, young riders 25 and under. 2 to 3 times higher than all of us. That's high as hell. One crash, and not saying that you're gonna crash, but a lot of people do drop the bike. That could be thousands of dollars in repairs on its own, so it's game over for somebody that's broke. If you ain't making much money and you drop this bike or crash it or whatever, you're fucked. It discourages you, you know what I'm saying? And it's making people not go get one in the first place. So not like, let's put bikes aside for a minute. Car ownership is declining quick. All right, from what I read, only 69% of riders 20 to 24 have a driver license. That's very low. So either we got 30% of people out here driving with no license at all, or we got people out here not driving at all. Either one is a problem, okay? And many people in that young generation prefer Uber. They prefer scooters, skateboards, bikes, walking, carpooling. But you also got to think of the image that bikes give off nowadays. It's not seen as a freedom anymore. It's seen as like a liability. It's not something that you aspire to do anymore, you know? There's so many reasons to not own a bike nowadays. And there's not enough reasons to own a bike nowadays, all right? And one of them reasons are safety concerns. Distracted drivers, you know, people who can't drive at all, or one of them young folks with no license like I was just talking about. One of those 3 out of 10. That's insane to me. One of those 3 out of 10, you know? And parents are more protective than ever, bro. Riding is a death sentence to them. That fear can be a death sentence. I mean, the fear is only anxiety of something that hasn't even happened. Something that you're making up in your mind. It may have happened before to somebody, maybe even to you, but it hasn't happened yet. But that fear isn't always unwarranted, because in 2023 alone, 5,900 motorcycle fatalities in the United States, 2023. That is the highest it's been since 08. 2000, that's a long time ago. So for it to be high, something's going on. I don't know what, but there's something. But the news doesn't make it any better. You know what I'm saying? They focus on fatal crashes. They don't focus on the love of it. They don't focus on the passion or the freedom of it. They focus on the negativity because that's what sells. That's what people want to see. They want to see that B-roll of somebody's helmet sitting up, smashed up on the side of the road, or a shoe on the other side of the street, or that blood stain that was on the road. You know, that's what they want to see. They don't want to show the love of the group rides. They don't want to show the love of the friends that we all got for each other, you know. And young people are told to play it safe. So the risk taking ain't there no more. Taking a risk is socially punished, and we need to stop that. But the people that's socially punishing you is most likely the people that's on social media. Which takes me to my next point. Do it for the gram. Don't do it for the gram, bro. Do it for yourself. Do it for what's internal. Do it for an internal reason, not an external reason. Don't do it because you want to look good. Don't do it because, you know, you saw your friend doing it and he got a little bit of clout on the social media. Don't do it for that reason. Do it for you. Don't do it for clout. All right? And the great words of today's philosopher, Offset. You know, I see why they would want to, because wheelies get way more views in the group ride. The dudes doing stoppies and stunts, they get views beyond what you would think it deserves. But that creates a clout over substance culture. And we need more than clout. We don't care about your clout, bro. We care about what you got to teach us. What can you show us? What can you get me to think about? You know, that's what we care about. So think about that before you start doing stuff for social media. Because TikTok got enough vibes, all right? I promise. TikTok got enough vibes. YouTube full of soulless riders. You got guys who get these bikes for the summer and they return them. We don't need no more of them. You can keep all that, all right? Keep all that. Speaking of soulless though, let's talk about these bike dealers. Soulless guys, bro. They mark up these entry-level bikes, 300s, 400s, 250s. It makes people not want to get them because it costs so much, like I said the first time. Or they just sell out super quick. But if you can't buy a bike, you probably don't got nobody to teach you because these classes that you need to take are underfunded or not there at all. It'll make you just disregard it altogether. But dude, do what you want, because listen, do what you want in your heart. You see these bikes out on the road. If you like, man, I want one of them. I need one of those in my life. Go get one. Don't let that stop you, bro. Figure out what you need to do. Get it done, because you make time for what you want to make time for, which we all know that's the truth. But the thing is, them dealers, they don't make They don't make ads for the young, broke, excited guys. They make ads for these rich, and not even, you don't even gotta be rich, but just established 45 to 60-year-old men who got families and been in the same career for 20 years. They don't care about you if you don't got money, bro. Like I said, soulless. They need to help. They are a big part of all of this, okay? And if you can't get a bike, oh, let's say you get a bike, all right? You need gear. The gear is overpriced as well, though. When they make it, the gear looks shit nowadays. It look like they're making gear for like everybody ride cruisers or something, bro. We want the cool stuff, the stuff that looks nice, you know what I'm saying? But they make that stuff $3 grand for the nice stuff, for the stuff that really works. You can go look up a video on the quality, the minimum protection that the gear has to give you. It is so low. It's so low. Just look it up yourself. Do your own research, all right? But the gear does not look cool. And what I remember, this is what I remember growing up. I was born in '94, okay? When I thought of motorcycles, I thought of leather jackets, and not like the Harley leather jackets, but leather, like the sports bike leather jackets. That's what I thought of. The guy leaning on the wall, the girls around him. You know, he might have been smoking a cigarette, sunglasses on. That's what I thought of. That is not the same image you get today. When I think of motorcycles today, when I hear somebody say a motorcycle, I've been surprised so many times by them jumping to, you know, a cruiser or a Harley or that style bike, that now it's the first thing I think of when I hear the word motorcycle. So imagine what the younger generation thinks of. It's not cool anymore. And that's what matters to them. That is cool. We need to make sure it's fucking dope. That's what we need to be sure of, and we need to get back to that. Because if you don't think it's cool, you don't care about it, no way. That's in everything. To sum it all up, the sport bike culture is fading, bro. It's going to cruisers, it's going to Harleys. Shit, it's even going to e-bikes. Let alone sport bike being a thing. I just had somebody tell me they bought an e-bike. And I said, dude, it takes a unique type of person to go buy an electric bike, okay? But this is a real dilemma that I've been thinking about. What is it that we can do to get younger riders back? What can you do? What can I do, you know? What's deterring them from riding motorcycles? And if you're one of them people in that generation, what deterred you from looking at one or going to get one or trying to get one? Because you're not watching this video for nothing. There's something in you that wanted to click on it. Either way, let me know in the comments. Again, it's J-Rod. Ride safe, ride smart, and of course, ride because you love it. I'll see you on the next one.